Welcome movie enthusiasts to Movie Logic Explained, your ultimate destination for unraveling the mysteries, hidden meanings, and fascinating details behind your favorite films. So grab your popcorn, subscribe, and let's dive into the captivating universe of Movie Logic Explained together. Let the movie magic begin. Today, I will provide a different summary of the movie Look Away, which was released in 2018. The film begins by showing a sonogram of two babies sharing a womb. However, the focus quickly shifts to Maria Brennan, a 17-year-old girl preparing for school. Maria is incredibly shy and socially awkward, which makes her an easy target for bullying, particularly from a classmate named Mark. Unfortunately, Maria's only friend, Lily, often ignores her when they are in a group setting. As a result, Maria's school life is far from ideal. One day, while at school, Maria and Lily find themselves watching the ice hockey team play from the sidelines. However, Lily interrupts the practice to make out with her boyfriend, Sean. Maria can't help but feel jealous, as she has had a crush on Sean for quite some time. Later, at home, Maria has dinner with her parents, Dan and Amy. Dan, a fill-ending plastic surgeon and an obsessive perfectionist, has always exerted control over Maria's life, contributing to her social anxiety. On the other hand, Amy, Maria's mother, constantly strives to do what's best for her daughter. However, she also suffers from depression and anxiety due to her husband's constant verbal abuse. Amy attempts to arrange a date for Maria at the upcoming prom, but Maria adamantly refuses to listen and storms off to her room. On her way, she accidentally overhears Dan talking about her failures, which deeply hurts her and brings her to tears. Later, while in her parents' room, Maria discovers a hidden sonogram of twins behind the mirror. After examining the picture, she goes to take a shower and notices her reflection moving on its own, which terrifies her. Filled with fear, she rushes out of the bathroom. During breakfast, Maria tries to share her experience with Dan, but he interrupts her and makes negative comments about her appearance. At school, Lily becomes preoccupied with Sean and ignores Maria as usual. When Maria isn't looking, Mark intentionally trips her, causing her to fall to the floor. Everyone laughs at her, except for Sean, who kindly helps her up and confronts Mark for his behavior. That night, Maria hears someone calling her name from the bathroom. Cautiously, she enters and sees her reflection in the mirror, facing the opposite direction. The reflection introduces herself as Aram and claims to have always been with Maria since her birth. Aram boasts about her ability to alleviate all of Maria's sadness, but fails to explain her true motives. As they converse, Maria surprisingly begins to develop a liking for Aram. Since Aram knows all of Maria's likes, fears, and dislikes, the two form a strong bond. Maria seems unfazed by the fact that she is conversing with her own reflection. The following day, she finds herself in a positive mood. Once school is over, she heads to her father's clinic. While there, she happens to observe him being overly friendly with a patient. Maria doesn't pay much attention to it, and instead goes to the movies with her father for some quality father-daughter time. Just as they are about to leave, she unexpectedly runs into Mark, who acts friendly towards her in front of Dan. However, his friends cruelly laugh at her, leaving Maria feeling awful. Although Dan notices the bullying, he chooses not to say anything. On their way back home, he invites her to his clinic for an early birthday present the next day. Later that night, Maria confides in Aram about her efforts to improve her relationship with Dan, but Aram disapproves and mocks her for thinking that Dan genuinely cares about her. Despite this, Maria still believes that her father will give her a card the next day, hoping to avoid taking the bus with the bullies. However, her hopes are shattered when Dan reveals that her early birthday present is actually rhinoplasty. He believes that her nose is flawed and wants to enhance its appearance. Feeling disheartened, Maria simply agrees with whatever he says. Upon returning home, Erin, her sibling, tells her that she always knew what kind of person Dan truly was. Recognizing Maria's sadness, Erin lightens the mood by joking about Dan's affairs. Later, Amy, Maria's mother, overhears her daughter talking to herself in the bathroom and becomes alarmed. She informs Dan about it, but he dismisses her concerns by giving her a sleeping pill and advising her to rest. Before going to sleep, Maria confides in Dan that she has started experiencing the same nightmares again. The next day, Lily and Maria arrive at an old clubhouse to practice ice skating for the upcoming winter prom on ice. Lily is skilled at ice skating, while Maria struggles to maintain her balance. As Maria attempts to move, she falls and injures her knees. However, Lily refuses to assist her, as she has noticed Maria's interest in her boyfriend and wants to teach her a lesson. When Erin sees Maria at home, she immediately informs her that Lily is a terrible friend. Despite this, Maria still wants to give Lily a chance, but Aram strongly opposes the idea. Aram reminds Maria of all the negative things Lily has done to her since they were children. Finally, Aram claims that she can alleviate all of Maria's pain if she switches places with her. They touch each other's hands and move closer to swapping, but their interaction is interrupted by Amy. The following day, Amy does Maria's makeup and dresses her up for the prom night. Maria is hesitant to attend, but she does so for her mother's sake. However, upon arrival, she realizes that it was a mistake. She struggles to maintain her balance while everyone else is skating around. Her day takes a turn for the better when Sharon comes to her aid and asks her to dance. The two enjoy a slow dance together, while Lily looks on with jealousy. Suddenly, Maria slips and falls to the ground. Sharon attempts to help her, but Lily pretends not to see Maria and stops him. The bully, Mark, extends his hand to help her up but instead drags her across the ice, causing everyone to laugh and mock her misery. Maria cries out for him to stop, and when he finally does, she quickly gets up and runs back home. Maria has finally reached her breaking point with everyone mistreating her. She tearfully confides in Aram, asking to switch places and solve all her problems. Maria and her reflection join hands and lips together. Moments after their interaction, Maria enters the mirror, while Erin takes her place in the real world. During the night, Amy experiences a recurring dream where she gives birth to a baby, but unfortunately, something goes terribly wrong during the process. This dream has been haunting her ever since Maria was born. The following morning, while having breakfast, Amy notices a noticeable change in Maria's behavior. Normally, Maria barely touches her food, but now she happily enjoys a bagel and compliments its taste. Amy is pleased with this positive change and doesn't think much of it. As they walk into school, Maria displays a newfound confidence, which is unusual for her. When Mark comments on the events of yesterday, Maria seductively whispers something into his ear, causing him to immediately stop talking. Sharon witnesses this and asks Maria what she said to Mark. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Erin does the same to Shan, leaving him flustered. Later, Lily brings up the incident from yesterday and tries to pass it off as a joke. Erin, feeling confident, asks Lily if she can continue teaching her how to skate. Lily is confused by Maria's sudden confidence, but agrees to meet her again at the clubhouse for practice. After school, Erin goes to meet Dan in his office. She appears delighted to see him and tells him that she missed him, as if they haven't seen each other in years. Erin is aware that her father has had multiple affairs, but her mother is too afraid to acknowledge this fact. However, Erin is determined to make her mother face the truth about their superficial marriage. When there is no one in the reception area, Erin calls Dan's mistress and asks her to come to the clinic at 1 o'clock. She also lies to her mother, falsely informing her that she has a date with Dan at the same time. Later, when Amy arrives at the office, she encounters the mistress in the elevator and discovers that she is Dan's girlfriend. Later that night, Erin smugly asks Amy where her father is, even though she knows he is with his mistress. Amy lies and claims that he is working late. Frustrated, Erin bluntly tells Amy to accept the fact that her husband is sleeping with other women. In a fit of rage, Amy slaps her daughter but immediately apologizes afterward. Despite being slapped by her mother, Erin smiles, satisfied that her plan was successful. Maria, however, is unhappy because Erin was rude to her mother. Erin argues that she is doing what Maria never had the courage to do. She asks Maria to have faith, but Maria is starting to doubt if letting Erin out was a good decision. The next day after school, everyone is leaving when Erin tricks Mark into the shower room. When he's not looking, she hits him with a hockey stick, causing him to fall to the ground in pain and teaching him a lesson to never mess with her again. After that, she and Lily go to the clubhouse to practice skating again. This time, Erin is better at skating, much to Lily's annoyance since she believed she was better than Maria at everything. To Lily's surprise, Erin copies her like a professional. Suddenly, Erin aggressively skates towards her, and although they don't exchange words, Lily senses trouble and runs away. While they're at it, she loses her balance and crashes into the pavement, losing her life due to the impact. Erin immediately calls the police and pretends to cry. Maria is speechless because of what Erin did to Lily. She cries, mourning her best friend's death, but Erin simply says that Lily deserved it. Maria demands to be let out of the mirror, but Aram refuses, saying she still has a lot to do. After Lily's memorial, Aram goes to Shun's house, pretending to be sad about her death. In reality, she wants to get closer to him, just like Maria had always dreamed of. She makes sexual advances at him, which he initially doesn't reciprocate, but eventually gives in, and the two make love. Aram and Dan decide to have a dinner together to strengthen their father-daughter bond. During the meal, Aram orders a crab and eats it in a messy manner, which annoys Dan. When Dan asks her to stop, Aram defiantly puts her foot on the chair, challenging him. In response, Dan harshly criticizes her, calling her a pathetic, try-hard teenager. This causes Aram to behave properly again. Meanwhile, Aram starts dating Shan, and the two frequently skip classes together. When they return to Aram's house, Amy, Aram's mother, sees them and becomes unsettled by their relationship. Aram simply asks her to keep sleeping and takes Shan to her room, where they engage in intimate activities once again. The next day, as they drive to school, Aram notices policemen entering the premises. Worried about being interrogated, she urges Shan to skip class again. They drive to a motel and begin undressing, but Shan receives a call from his mother informing him that the police want to talk to him and Maria about a death. Shan wants to leave immediately, but Aram refuses to do so. She questions why he still cares about Lily when she is already dead. Shan is led to believe that she had some involvement in Lily's death. When he confronts her about it, Aram strikes him with a bottle of alcohol, resulting in his death. In their grief, she and Maria find solace in each other, sitting together on the bathroom counter. A flashback reveals that Maria actually had a twin sister who was born with a deformed face. Dan, a perfectionist, disliked the second girl and euthanized her against Amy's wishes. Erin, his second daughter, still carries the pain of not being good enough for her father. Later, after getting drunk, she goes to Dan's clinic. Dan tries to calm her down, but is taken aback when she undresses in front of him. Despite his attempts to avoid the question, she asks if he would still love her if she were deformed. Reluctantly, Dan admits that he would still love her. In a shocking turn of events, Aram slits his throat with a scalpel. As he takes his last breath, she questions why he couldn't simply love her. Aram cleans the scalpel and looks for Maria in the mirror, but she is nowhere to be found. Aram returns home and crawls into bed next to Amy. In the final scene, both Maria and Aram are on the bed with their mother, suggesting that the sisters have become one. That concludes the events from the video. Enjoying the cinematic journey so far? Don't miss out on the next blockbuster breakdown. Hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you're loving the content. Share it with your fellow cinephiles, and don't forget to ring that bell. Subscribe, like, share, and ring that bell. Let's make every movie moment count together.